up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener!
Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Runner goes, pitches.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. Mr. Reliable. Mr. Skubal. Man, let's get this microphone going right. Is it working? Can you hear it?
Nah, you gotta plug it in, bro.
Man.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm on one. Can you hear me yet?
Nah, it's just background noise.
No, that's all right. You know what? I will.
Yeah, Sam, you gotta take the lead on this one.
No, I mean, how could you not be on one? What a game! What a moment that the Woodward Sports crew got to experience in studio. KG, I know you were part of it. Pete is gonna live in infamy for his.
D-Man called it.
Hey, but you know what? As I was saying pre-show, I've looked kind of silly celebrating many a time before.
Jack.
So that is all well and good. I don't know.
Test 1 2
I
1
kinda
2
feel like you-
1 2.
No.
I think we're in there now. Can you guys hear me? I can hear myself at least.
Yeah, I was about to say I think you're good.
Well, you know what?
I think you're good.
Woo! What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward again. And again, and again. Tarik Skubal, man.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Reliable. Mr. Pencil him in for the dub. We can breathe. We can breathe. The hangover is over.
No, the hangover is over. And you know what? Today, since it was such a big moment, and, you know, the Lions had a bye week. They got a big game coming up on Sunday, but they had a bye week. I'm doing something today. We're doing something today that I don't think we've ever done in maybe a single Woodward sports show. We are going wall-to-wall Tigers. Well, start to finish Tigers.
Let's go.
See 'em up.
This is the biggest moment we've certainly seen for the Tigers during our time at Woodward Sports, most certainly. And we might get into a little bit of the other ALDS series to maybe scout future opponents later on, but we just got to show love to these Detroit Tigers. They get their first win in the ALDS since 2014, and now they get to play their first home playoff game since 2014.
It's awesome.
What a time
It's
to be
beautiful.
alive.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Detroit sports fan, man. Like, we kept talking about, as we saw it approaching, as we saw the possibilities, that there could be an October in the D. Since the Pistons moved up the start of their season to October from November, we just needed the Detroit Tigers to make the playoffs, man. And how beautiful it is right now to know we got multiple teams right now with expectations doing things, because you know what Sky Harris said? He said, you know what? We believe we're ready and built to make some noise this October. And what was awesome to see last night is that with this hangover over, we got to see the Tigers actually get some hits. We get to see them get a little bit more comfortable with this Guardians bullpen. And that's what makes me comfortable moving forward, because they're going to need every single advantage they can get in those games that Skubal's not pitching in.
Absolutely. And you know what? Because it was such a big moment, and I get it, it's game 2 of the ALDS, so maybe I'm wilding out a little bit, but who can blame me, man? Who can blame me? Who can blame
supposed to be here, bro. Wild out. Go for it.
I have dubbed this, as you guys probably saw in the show sheet, the Kerry Carpenter home run, the shot heard round Detroit. a play on the 1951 Bobby Thompson home run, which was
sir.
nicknamed the shot heard round the world, where the Giants win the pennant. We've all heard that call. It was, so I want to ask, and KG, you're documented on camera. What was it like to be in that room when that happened?
I can't even explain it, man. That was a very frustrating 8 innings of baseball. You were just hoping that the Tigers would come through at the plate. We already knew what Skubal was going to do, and to his credit, he went out there and pitched an absolute gem. But once Cleveland started getting into their bullpen, you kind of got worried, man, because Matt Boyd, you got to give him credit, man. I know you was trashing him yesterday. He went out there and pitched a gem as well. Emmanuel Clase, the best reliever in all of baseball, comes up, and this Tiger Magic run, I don't even have words for it, man. It's absolutely amazing. You had Trey Sweeney getting on base that helped set up the Carpenter home run, and then Carps just takes it long, man. It was amazing, man. That's all I can say.
It was amazing. It looked like there was a lot of energy. We had Nick Koloff in the house. We had Easy. We had Maz. I saw that we had Chris Platty. I saw that a bunch of people went and kind of surrounded and converged upon Maz because he's so much fun to watch these games with,
I love
especially when good things happen, because it's not like he's happy. He's just being saved from a potential heart attack. Just that feeling of relief. But you know what? We've all been there before. Hello. Obviously, I have.
You know what? Where I was back in the back cave, trying to make sure that those reaction clips were getting up. The watch party was lit. I know, Chase, you were clipping those things up. And it was funny, man. There was this one frame. There's this one frame when I was putting together the clip, and you see the duality of Tigers fandom. And it's Spinny. It's right before the home run. Spinny is absolutely jacked, bro. He's like in only the way a heavyweight Spinny can do, bro. And Maz behind him looks like he needs 2 bottles of Pepto-Bismol, bro.
Yeah.
Maz
was stressed out,
bro. He was stressed, but you know what? This is what playoff baseball is. I know you talked about KG. Man, it was what you thought you saw up into that Carpenter bomb. This is playoff baseball. If we don't remember, we used to sweat through those JV innings, and it's just we had a lot more quality starting pitching, so we knew we had a chance every single time. But you know what, AJ Hinch, he's just been magic this season, man. This was epic. It was cool to see the guys going crazy. Like I said, I'm going crazy. I probably need a new desk. I knocked that one over. I got a little too bricked up, man. I was fired up. Ooh, and Detroit's going to be rocking for ALDS Game 3.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I was talking to Chase in the back, and you had an interesting story of where you were when Carpenter hit that big, the shot heard round Detroit.
Yeah, I was watching the game. I'm working my full-time job and just throwing my fists in the air. And I got a little too excited. My cat was in the other room, and he didn't really like the commotion. He came in, and he jumped up on me. And he tore me up. I don't know if you guys can see. I got
Jeez, yeah, I see it.
Wait, your cat?
Yeah, my cat, Kerry Carpenter pounced on that pitch, and then my cat just pounced.
That's a Detroit Tiger right there.
Yeah, then my cat just jumped all over me, tore me up a little bit.
Gritty.
So yeah, I mean, hey, just like the gritty tigs, man. Just cleaned myself up, just finished up with the clips. We move on. So
hey, I mean, we got the video too.
That's an epic.
All right,
this is
go
epic.
ahead, play it.
You can't script this.
Dude, I'm fucking in here going nuts with the fucking
I'm fucking in here.
just throwing my fist in the air and my fucking cat attacks me.
Jesus.
I'm fucking
Oh my God.
That's why I don't like
bro.
cats.
Just like the cats are fucking attacking the Guardians, I'm celebrating the cart bomb and I got fucking tore up by my cat. Jesus Christ.
Your cat probably I'm sorry.
That is a great
he
video.
got a
has
little
no
too excited.
remorse, no remorse at all, no remorse.
No, it's that's all right.
Some aggressive puss.
Hey, you may beat it up, JB or KG. It tore me up.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It happens to the best of us. That is for damn sure. So that was an interesting story.
Shit,
JB. No, I'm not trying to move on.
Oh my God.
JB,
What's up?
where were you when Kerry Carpenter hit the shot heard round Detroit?
Oh, so I was still at work, but KG's on record for saying this on the stream, though. I was a little pissed off about the, what was that, Quan?
Oh, the Quan catch.
The Quan
which
catch.
was a catch, people. I understand it was a catch.
I don't
It
know about
wasn't.
that. That's still up for debate, but still, I was at work watching this. I was a little pissed off at the Quan catch, but I still stayed in there. And I'm not going to lie, I got a little nervous. Like, man, we're going into extra innings. I don't know how we're going to fare off in this game right now. But shout out to Skubal for pitching his ass off in this game. And Kerry Bonds, which I'm naming him right now, blasted that homer out of the park. My God, thank you. It was amazing.
Absolutely amazing, man. Epic. And it was cool. Also, shout out to Travis, part of the social squad, man, social team. And he got footage from inside the stadium, which was absolutely epic, man. To see the Tigers fans that were in there, that whole section just looked to be full of Tigers fans. It's dope because Detroit sports fans, we have deserved this for so long, man. And chat family, as always, thank you guys for being here. You all are the most important part of the entire WUW Crew production. Go on ahead and smash that like button. Shout out to that dude, Justin. Matthew Broder, what up, though, too? You guys have seen the rest of the cast already. Man, this I'm hoping that they got enough, man, and I believe that the city of Detroit is definitely going to give the Detroit Tigers a little bit of fuel, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show. But you want to tell them a little bit about what we're talking about with the Tigers? We can break this kind of Tigers menu down for them.
Oh yes, so we're obviously right now just giving some initial reactions on how we felt after the game, but coming up in the next segment we're going to go over the details of the game. I have a special appreciation segments for Tarik, Skubal, and Kerry Carpenter. We're also going to talk about just how amazing and how just insane it was what the Tigers actually did in the 9th inning. We're going to talk about Tigers home playoff game coming up Wednesday, a little how we're feeling about that, how highly anticipated it is for any of us. If any of us are going to the game, we'll talk about that. And, if we got a little bit of time, now that the Tigers have put themselves in a position, 1-1, going back home for 2, maybe it's time to look at who their opponent might be in the ALDS. Kansas City got themselves a nice win last night. So we shall see. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, but those are the discussions that us Tigers fans can have because going back home with it 1-1 is such an advantage. That's why Saturday was always not that big of a deal. It never really was, as long as you take care of business during the Skubal day, and that's exactly what the Tigers did. So a shout out to them. I'm proud of this team, proud of the city.
Definitely, man. It was epic feelings, and that was the cool thing, was just seeing everybody's reaction. I instantly went and clipped the chat, went insane, as rightfully they should, but it's really cool to be able to encapsulate those things forever, because these are the memories that we get to rely on. These are the things that Woodward Sports, when we talked about becoming a company, this was the purpose of it, to make sure that moments like this can have its rightful place, not just for now, when we're in the now, but we can celebrate it forever, man. It was epic.
Absolutely. And hopefully for these next couple upcoming watch parties, I'll be able to make an appearance. Unfortunately, I was watching from home because I had to get some new tires. And when you have an expense like that and when you live 30-35 minutes away, it's a little depressing at the time, so you don't want to make the drive all the way back. You just kind of want to conserve your money as much as you can. So
you sound married.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And tires are not cheap. Tires are certainly not cheap, so I watched it from home, but it was still an amazing experience. And, of course, I saw all of the clips of what everybody was doing during all of the moments at the watch party, including, I wonder who called that home run. Was it D-Mac?
D-Mac! Not sure.
I was told it was D-Mac.
Hey, I was told it was D-Mac, but I was told where you can get your best workout is Planet Fitness. And you know what? I was not steered wrong.
Did D-Mac tell you that too?
I mean, D-Mac has told me a lot of things over the times.
We've been witness.
Absolutely. But Planet Fitness, it's fitness that fits your budget. They've got all of the best prices, all of the best amenities. They've got 50+ Metro Detroit locations. So no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness nearby. They don't have a rock wall, but the weights are all the same at every other gym, as our commercial would say. And you know what? It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full-line merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed-out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, KDK Law, not the place where you want to be, but you will certainly be grateful if you run into a situation that they are there for you. KDK Law, it's Kevin and Catherine. They deal with divorce, family, criminal law. You need excellence on your side. And you know what? You can call them any day or night and go to their website. And if you got, like I said, divorce, child custody, it's not fun, but you will be thankful that it went smooth as the time goes along. And you should never let that woman do you wrong.
D-Mac called that divorce, by the way.
Never let her do you wrong. As you always hear KG say, don't let her get your cash, man. Don't let her get your cash. What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Oh, man, it's another victory show. I missed the feeling of this. After we had, like, victory show last week, I really missed it. And this is technically 2 victory shows in a row, huh? Shout out to the Pistons.
Hey,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
They trying to kill me, man.
And the Detroit.
My heart can't take it, bro.
Hey, it's October in the D, man.
It is.
And you know what? Tarik Skubal made sure that the objective was completed. He understood the assignment, right? It was go to Cleveland and get one and give this insane crowd in Detroit the opportunity to be able to give you guys an advantage, push you over the edge a little bit. And I can't wait, man. Skubal absolutely dominated. We want to talk about a guy who is absolutely a Cy Young winner. Just give this man the award right now. 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 Ks. What else can you say about Tarik Skubal, man?
Oh, there's nothing else you could say about Tarik Skubal.
But let's do it anyway.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off on my Tarik Skubal love fest because that's coming in the next segment. But he was the catalyst for this win. You want to talk about losing the bullpen game in Game 1, but being able to rely on Tarik Skubal to go 7 innings, 0 earned runs against a very formidable Cleveland Guardians lineup. Pitched out of trouble a couple of times, which was very impressive. Got a double pitch. Induced a double play, which was a very nice turn, by the way, from Trey Sweeney to Colt Keith in the top of the 6th to keep it scoreless when it was 1st and 3rd with a 1 out, and you've got the prospects of facing David Fry. It's certainly Tarik Skubal is going to get more flowers as the show goes on, but I also have to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I got to ask you about another guy who might need some flowers. One former Tiger legend, Matthew Boyd.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. You know what? Man. I think I need to be out of the business of predicting things because just like I called it, Matthew Boyd was absolutely brilliant.
Wasn't D-Mac, though.
But you know what? It didn't matter. And I know that if Matthew Boyd would have pitched that way and Cleveland would have won, I'd be hearing it for the rest of eternity. So we can just let this go to history. But no, for real. Matthew Boyd was splendid. I never saw him look like that in Detroit. I mean, he was a 4.95 ERA his whole career there, and then he comes in Cleveland, just absolutely dominates the Tigers.
So would you say you're done calling predictions and such?
Probably.
Would you say that D-Mac is in the Hall of Fame of calling it?
He's in no Hall of Fames. Maybe the Detroit Hall of Fame, he's in no Hall of Fames, and he would tell you that as well. But, no, when you talk about this game, the way that it went. Matthew Boyd, obviously, he dominated the Tigers, and it looked like for a while that Cleveland's bullpen, which I was nervous to see, would continue on that domination, and they did, until, of course, Emmanuel Clase showed up. So the Tigers couldn't hit Matthew Boyd, but they hit Emmanuel Clase. Baseball's weird, I know, but that's just the beauty of it as well. It was just a great game. You saw the Tigers, a lot of what ailed them in Game 1 continued to ail them in Game 2 until it didn't. You saw the Tigers have some struggles with runners in scoring position. You saw Riley Green fail to get a hit. You saw Parker Meadows fail to get a hit with a runner on third and one out. You saw Jake Rogers. It was just something that was a continuation of Game 1 until it wasn't. And of course, we got to talk about the top of the 8th inning. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? It looked to me like no. KG, you disagree.
I disagree because, yes, it bounced, but it didn't bounce off the ground. It bounced kind of in his glove, and they ruled it originally a catch. So, don't behave, Chase.
You see the angel on your left shoulder?
They ruled it a catch, so I knew it wasn't enough to really overturn the call. That's why I didn't think that, it was good enough. I didn't think he dropped it. I didn't.
I agree. Whatever was called on the field was going to stand. There wasn't conclusive evidence either way. But I was thinking about you guys because, with your wrestling, I thought Kerry Carpenter did a great impression of The Rock.
Oh, he did.
Stephen Kwan's Billy Gunn. Stephen Kwan, did you catch that ball? Well, it doesn't matter if you caught it.
He did a good sell job, but honestly, I don't think he caught it. But
it was in his glove.
It was in his glove. It bounced a little bit. You know what? To sum it all up, they just didn't want us to win. That's what it is. They didn't want the Tigers to win. And that's all that's said.
All right. Here's the thing. I don't think it was physically possible for him to catch that ball with it before it hits the ground. However, this is where I have to give Stephen Kwan credit. And I'll stop giving the Guardians credit after this. It's because he made it so close. He got as close as you possibly could to catching that ball to where the call on the field had to stand. I don't really know how you could conclusively overturn it, even though common sense said that it hit the ground. But you know what? As we said before, it didn't matter because in the top of the 9th, they had a little bit of a ball don't lie moment. And I also have to give credit to a couple of other guys. And I know people have been screaming at it for it in the chat, but it's a 2-hour show. I'm getting to it. In the top of the 9th, with 2 outs, imagine if you're Emmanuel Clase. You're Emmanuel Clase. You're the best closer in all of baseball, and you're staring at Jake Rogers. You think, easy out. This guy's an under 200 hitter. What does Jake Rogers do? He gets a single. The next batter, no big deal. Hey, rake. The next batter, Trey Sweeney, another one. No big deal. I'm Emmanuel Clase. That's Trey Sweeney. He hit 218. I'm going to get this guy out. What does Trey Sweeney do? Single. Single to make it first and third. And then, of course, that all led up to Kerry Carpenter 2-2 pitch after Clase throws him his third slider in a row, hangs one, and Kerry Carpenter absolutely deposits it into the seats.
Wasn't that a little arrogant on his part? 3 straight sliders, and then the last one you kind of hung a little bit. I didn't necessarily understand that, especially with somebody that throws 100 miles an hour. Wouldn't you want to throw heat past Kerry Carpenter? I didn't get that.
Hey, you know what? His loss is our gain. I get what you're saying for sure. I mean, if you're Emmanuel Clase, you probably think you can get anybody out on any of your pitches, but you can't because Kerry Carpenter showed up, and that's why we call him Kerry Bonds, because very few people in all of Major League Baseball hit righties better than Kerry Carpenter.
And the guys who kept us alive in the 9th with those 2 outs, Jake Rogers, Trey Sweeney, both pieces we got in trades that people have been critical of. Jake Rogers, the only dude we got back from still on the team from the JV trade. Trey Sweeney, obviously.
Isn't he Skubal's Sudfeld or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Flaherty got lit up in Game 2 for the Dodgers, and then Trey Sweeney stepping up for us in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. So it's good to see, those guys definitely stepping up for the Tigers, and then Kerry Carpenter, who Sam has been just banging the drum for all season.
Yep.
So,
and for me, and I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show as well about how the Tigers got to Class A. But for me personally, it's what we talked about on the show yesterday when we were kind of previewing the game. It was, can you get to this bullpen? Can you make this bullpen not as invincible as everybody stated? Because even Tigers fans, when we were discussing how do they have an opportunity or a chance to make some noise against the Guardians, a lot of people said, how you not getting nothing? Even if you rough up a starter, you're not doing nothing against their bullpen. And that's why I was like, you know what? This is a squad that I believe is set up to be able to do something against even the best of bullpens, because down the stretch, we saw them go and do this series after series after series to do the improbable of getting into the playoffs. Now they're in a position, even though they have some struggles with the bats, I'm glad that the Guardians now have to second guess, and I'm hoping that they continue to get to their bullpen, because that's who you're going to consistently see throughout this series.
And you know what's funny, too? This is just another example of the gritty Tigers don't care about the odds.
Yeah.
Us
care about your
us
bullpen.
fans, I think, were rightfully afraid of Cleveland's bullpen. You saw what it did the game before. You saw what it did done throughout the season. You had Clase with an ERA of 0.6, and then the three others, Gaddis, Cade Smith, and Tim Herron, were all under 2. And they were all out there again because of the off days. You don't even have to worry about bullpen's arms being fresh because you got the built-in off days. I understand the fear. But you know who wasn't afraid? The gritty Tigers. Jake Rogers, Trey Sweeney, Kerry Carpenter. They beat the odds the whole damn season. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs. They're not supposed to, be score the game-winning runs and get the game-winning RBIs off of Emmanuel Clase. Kerry Carpenter maybe, but even him, that's how dominant Clase had been. And if you would have told me before the game that my prediction of Matthew Boyd being garbage and being lit up would be so bad that he would actually pitch a shutout during his appearance, I would have thought, damn, it's been a good season, but the Tigers, they lose game 2 and they maybe get swept. But that's not what happened, because they got 3 runs off of Emmanuel freaking Clase. Dude, we're going to talk about more about how improbable that was later, but it's just amazing what this team continues to do. They don't care about the odds. They don't care that it's Emmanuel Clase. They don't care that they're not supposed to be here. They just don't. They just keep getting these wins.
That's so baller. I just had to let that breathe real quick. Bar King, is that a bar?
Confirmed.
That was absolutely a bar, man. Man, and you know what? I wonder what happens in Game 3. Now all of a sudden you got the crowd rocking, and this bullpen, I believe, is going to have to hold serve. They're going to have to hold serve, because one thing I did like about the Tigers, they put together 9 hits in that game yesterday. 4 off Boyd. And I believe the other 5 obviously off of the bullpen late in that game, which gave them the lead. This is the stuff that we've seen out of A.J. Hinch, man. He is so surgical. And honestly, I know that each loss has been magnified. And really, that's because each loss has mattered. They razor thin had a 0.2% margin to make it. And now you're playing against the best competition. The Astros was not a pushover. A.J. Hinch just surgically took them apart. The Guardians, they're not pushovers. That second game, you get over your hangover a little bit, you get back grounded, you got Skubal on the mound, and it looked like the Tigers that we saw down the whole second half of the season. I'm really hoping that they continue to be that, and they look so confident. They look like they're playing with, more than house money, man. Like they're like guests of the casino. Here, take my car.
Well, and it's not just that they're playing with house money, which they are. They still are. The Tigers are playing this whole postseason with house money. You know who is decidedly not playing with house money? The Cleveland Guardians.
Damn right.
As I've mentioned before, there's organizational pressure to get it done. Did you know that Cleveland has been to the playoffs 14 times since 1994 and has 0 World Series to show for it, even though on 3 of those times, they actually made the World Series. A couple of those times in the 90s, they looked like the clear best team in baseball, and they didn't get it done. All of the pressure in the world is on Cleveland, and you know what? They know that they have to go into a raucous Comerica Park and get at least 1, or they're done, or they choked again.
It's over. Give it to Vince Carter, dog. It's over.
I'm not going to go quite there yet, but I'll tell you what. I like
the
Tigers' chances, and Cleveland as the Cleveland Guardians as an organization are a choking organization. And don't get me wrong, the Tigers, they haven't won a World Series in 40 years either. I'm not letting them off the hook. But it's not like they've gotten close numerous times in the last 10 years and didn't get it done. They just have been bad. Now the Tigers are finally getting back to the postseason, and they basically got a free roll. And just imagine how much it would sting the Cleveland Guardians players, the Cleveland Guardians fans, to lose to this Tigers team. I'll tell, dude, inject that into my veins. Inject it right here. And you know what? 1948's the last time your organization won a World Series. So, like I said, organizational pressure. I can't even.
And you know why? You know why, man? It's so awesome because I don't want the Tigers to lose this series. There was part of me that was like, all right, hey, they've had a pretty cool season, but the more I keep looking at what they've done over the second half of the season, being effectively the best team in baseball, the more I'm like, you know what? And I hear AJ Hinch talking to this team, and they're believing. Go out there and do something great. If they lose this series, the Guardians still know, and their fans still know, that the Tigers are absolutely coming. Absolutely. That's the beautiful part about it. I believe in this Harris vision. I believe in what AJ Hinch is able to do, this Moneyball stuff. And if Chris Ilitch opens up the pocketbook just a little bit, I'm sorry, man. That's one of those, he turned it sideways.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill our, I don't want to, get the demonetization and everything, but I like where they're headed, man. It's awesome. This was everybody's reactions too, man. It was pretty dope. Just kind of seeing all the different reactions come through from Neil, Bonds, Kerry Bonds, Flannel. I see you up there. What a great win by the Tigers. 1-1 heading back to Detroit for the next two. What more could you ask for? Easy, Braylon, Matt, Spinny, Ryan, Trav, myself, everybody else. It was epic, man. If you guys can, go ahead and put your reactions, just your instant reactions to when the Tigers won and how you're feeling about Game 3 ahead. Before we get to the next segment, Chuck Brewer, he says, we have given up 2 runs in series. If we push reset when they got their first out of the series, a pitching clinic on both sides. Tigers pitching, man, has been epic.
That's fair. There's this little pesky little thing called 5 runs that were scored before the first out. But you know what? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. In light of the fact that 1-1 going home for the next 2 is an absolute win, that's a relevant comment. And speaking of, you talked about the Tigers are coming. Speaking of somebody who
said, we coming.
Speaking of somebody who I hope came last night, Tarik Skubal. We're going to be talking about him more because that man.
Right.
Somebody
get that man some love right now.
Unpause it. Give him all the love.
Anywho, Woodward and Maine.
Satisfy. Somebody go satisfy his like button.
You know what? I know how we're kicking off the next segment.
Yeah.
You know what?
Ooh, perfect.
He's got a lovely wife and kids, and his wife is very, very attractive. But Woodward and Maine. Hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions. With insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward and Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, look at those guys do the pregame show. Those very trustworthy guys to bring you all of the Detroit Lions game day coverage. It's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every day, every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Galesian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports. Live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy set starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game It's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
The Tangerine Space Machine. It is the easy drinking IPA with out of this world flavor. It's smooth, it's juicy, with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic haze of goodness. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is the official beer of outer space. They know about this stuff on the moon. I'm telling you guys. It's brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan, so you can support locally as well, too. But you know what? If the haze goodness isn't for you, you can always hit up Sabbath Coffee.
Hey, you know what? Fuel your Lions fandom like Kerry Carpenter did that home run last night with a perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee. Delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast and use code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake, unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. What up, though, people, and welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and you know what? We're talking about a guy who deserves all the love right now. You know, I'm going to start spelling his last name a little bit differently, too. I think it still works. Take the S away, put a CY in front of it. It's still Skubal. It still works, man. He was born for this. So, hey, you know what? Let's satisfy that like button for Mr. Skubal himself, man.
What we doing?
We got to treat it right.
Hey, I know the Tigers got y'all hiding by the night. It's Mr. Nasty time. So just go ahead and hit that like button real nice and real slow. We appreciate you. This ain't no quiet storm. This the whole hurricane.
Woo! You know what? The whole hurricane. This is no quiet storm. This is the whole hurricane. You know what? With Skubal, that's what it's become for me. To see how animated he's getting on the mound, to see just how technical he's getting with his craft, and with his skill set, man, it's been awesome to see his development. Before the season started, I was wondering, like, is it time for us to start saying he's on the level of some of the great pitchers that we've seen here during the last run? And I believe that that person, Mr. Skubal, has absolutely cemented his place in this, especially with this Tigers run all season and now in the playoffs, man, bringing absolute dominance to the table.
Man, Tarik Skubal is the best pitcher in baseball, and he's ours. And you know what? If he keeps it up like this, he legitimately has a chance to be the undisputed MVP of baseball in terms of regular season and playoffs, because what you've had the ability to do in these last couple of games is just put him out there, and you know that he's going to shut the opposing teams down. Think about this. In yesterday's game, 7 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 5 1-2-3 innings, and both times that he got into a little bit of trouble, he induced a double play. What better can you ask for from that? And that's on top of the first playoff game for the Tigers in 10 years that he pitched, 6 innings, 0 earned runs in that one as well. So not only was Tarik Skubal the best pitcher in the American League by far, not only did he win the pitching triple crown, he has upped it to another level in the playoffs, going against the Astros, going against the Guardians, and making quick work of those lineups that are absolutely full of all-stars. And the thing is, too, upping your game in the postseason is not always easy. We've seen it with pitchers like Clayton Kershaw. We've seen it with pitchers like Greg Maddux. No doubt first ballot Hall of Famers that never were quite to the level of their regular season performance in the playoffs. But with Tarik Skubal, I mean, he's a 2.39 ERA in the regular season, and in the playoffs in the first 2 starts, his ERA is a big fat 0.
Woo.
What a weapon that he is.
It's a big fat what?
0.0.
Goose egg.
And think about this. I would love for the Tigers to win these next 2 at Comerica, but with what Tarik Skubal gives you the opportunity to do is if you drop one of those games, you got Game 5 at Cleveland on his normal rest. Do we trust Tarik Skubal to get the job done?
Damn right.
How could you not? So, as much as we appreciate Tarik Skubal, as much as we love him, as much as we've caped up for him to win the Cy Young, as much as we marveled at his pitching performances, because yesterday in particular, he had his best stuff, no doubt about it. I don't think people understand even just how much he's elevated his game and just how difficult that it is to do. And Tarik Skubal is shining in the postseason. He's better than he was in the regular season. He's better than the best pitcher in baseball in the postseason. Can't say enough about this guy.
Yeah, I see the chat here, too. I didn't even know it was going to go there, but people are saying, JV struggled in his first couple playoffs. You're looking at Skubal right now rising to the occasion, and he's given the Tigers all season long the opportunity to be in the position they're in right now. I keep sitting here thinking, like, man, what if they would have lost 1 or 2 or 3 more of his starts during the regular season, and they have not been able to afford to lose any of his starts in the playoffs. Lock Skubal up.
Yes.
Lock him up.
No, absolutely lock Tarik Skubal up. And that's why, even though, there's a lot of candidates for Tigers MVP this season, or Tigers, even if you want to go like Tigers MVP of the last couple of months, which in that case you could even go for Parker Meadows. The reality is that in days in which Tarik Skubal didn't start this season, and that goes through even their stretches where they were working wonders with the bullpen days.
Yeah.
They were still about a 500 team when he doesn't start, and about 10, 11 games over 500 when he does. He's your ace. He's gotten the job done all year long, and he is well on his way. And I know this is getting a little bit too predictive because, you take it one day at a time. But just imagine if he keeps this up. You're talking about him potentially having one of the greatest postseasons individually by a pitcher ever. And again, long way to go. But he's well on his way. 13 innings, 0 earned runs in his first ever 2 postseason starts. Are you kidding me? What more could you ask for?
Hey, I'm seeing the pay demands in the chat. Throw the pay demands in the chat before I got Tarik Skubal. Pay that man. Pay that man. Pay that man. You see the effect that he's having right now. I know that they have a need for bats, but you also have a need for Tarik Skubal as well.
You do. But imagine this, and this is something that none of us ever envisioned. Imagine actually winning it all.
What?
With Tarik Skubal cheap.
Yeah.
You could actually do it.
This guy, man, like my name ain't Detroit Kool-Aid. I dream about winning it all.
Of course. I didn't want to say those 2 words because I'm not trying to jinx anything, but you actually have the opportunity this year.
Yeah.
Tarik Skubal is locked up for 2 more years, regardless of if you sign him or not. And you should sign, and the Tigers should sign him. But one of the reasons why it was at a point seemed to be so imperative to either sign him long-term or trade him is that nobody thought that the Tigers would actually be in a position to win the big one with Tarik Skubal on this current contract, even for the next couple of years. But right now, they are.
Yep.
They've got the best pitcher in baseball. That's turning into maybe the most lethal weapon in all of the American League. If you throw Tarik Skubal out there and he's going to give you zeros, if you can throw him out there 2 times in a 5-game series, 1 time in a 3-game series, and maybe 2 or 3 times in a 7-game series,
you got a really good chance to win the series.
Got a great chance. You probably feel like you're effed if you're the other team. Or you have to be damn near perfect against non-Skubal starts. If you lose against the Tigers bullpen, you're probably real demoralized.
Yep. And you know what, man? I have a question I want to pose to you guys. I see you in the chat, Kiazi. This moment right here was epic when he was walking off the mound.
Yeah, waving
to the fans.
Yeah,
like
what's up with it? What's up with it?
And you know what? Now that he got a couple playoff wins under his belt, now that we know that man's going to win the Cy Young, Kiazi says, watch somehow, some way, it'll be some Jared Goff chance tomorrow at the Tigers game, LOL. Is it time? Is it time? Think about for what he's accomplished. Maybe if he beats the Guardians, is it time for Skubal chance?
Yes.
Has he reached that
Absolutely.
era?
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping
Yes.
is that at the game,
Yeah.
somehow, some way, Tigers fans, I know he's not on the mound, but give that man his flowers.
Oh, absolutely.
Chance Skubal's name.
By the way,
we love Jared Goff. No slight.
There will be no Jared Goff chance tomorrow, and that's no disrespect to Jared Goff. Look at what these Tigers have accomplished.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Nobody
talking
is thinking about the Lions right now, and it's crazy to say. Nobody's thinking about the Lions right now. They have earned this. They deserve this, and I promise you, Skubal, he's going to get some chance tomorrow.
It's time. Yeah, it's time to chance Skubal's name, man.
Yeah.
He's earned it. He's on that pantheon.
Yeah, he's earned it. He's the best pitcher in baseball. He looks to have even upped his game to another level in the playoffs. And like I said before, you've seen some of the greatest to ever do it. I mentioned Greg Maddux. I mentioned Clayton Kershaw. I see it in the chat that Justin Verlander is not a good World Series pitcher, although he had a lot of nice moments in the DSs and CSs. It's not easy. You're going up against the best in the world, and Tarik Skubal is making them all look silly. And that's the mark of an ace pitcher. And I know I've also seen this among social media. Doesn't it make it almost a little bit better that he's an absolute psychopath out there?
Yes.
I love it.
I love that.
I love the reactions, dog. Brandon Hassel says he is the Detroit MVP right now. That might be a conversation for another day. But for right now, he has all the Detroit buzzing, bro.
How could you not pick him right now? And I get it. We're all on Tiger fever, but Tarik Skubal, as far as the most important athletes in the city right now, he's got
certain squad.
Of course.
He's on track to be better than Verlander ever was. Now you're talking to a big Verlander guy over here.
Remember when we talked about it in the beginning of the season? I thought it was a little blasphemous, and I was like, man, I feel dirty, but can we talk about him in this era? And Broder was like, sure.
Absolutely, we can. Because think about Verlander's legacy. He's going to get retired as an Astro. He's not going to get retired as a Detroit Tiger, and that's a shame because of everything that he did for the Tigers. But he won his championships with the Astros while still being one of the best pitchers in baseball in Houston. So he's not even going to be remembered as a Tiger. Tarik Skubal has a chance to really take that mantle as maybe Detroit's best pitcher to ever grace the diamond.
Man, hey, and it will go a long way if the Tigers can actually finish this off and Tarik Skubal stays dominant. Because I always hear, and this isn't a bad thing, by the way. It's just before my time. I always hear people talk about Mickey Lolich in the '68 World Series and just how dominant he was. Just imagine if Tarik Skubal can have a dominant postseason while also being a dominant regular season pitcher as well, which Mickey Lolich was not. He was good, but he's more famous for the '68 World Series. Yep. Imagine if he gets that. And just one little tidbit before we move on to another one who deserves his flowers.
People are talking about it in the chat. They're like, yo, where the carp love?
Oh, it's coming. It's a 2-hour all Tigers show, so it's coming. Tarik Skubal's ERA this season was lower than in Justin Verlander's MVP season. And I get it. It's 2.40 to 2.39, but still, that season in which Justin Verlander had holds a lot of weight and is looked at in a lot of lore when it comes to Tigers fans, as it should, because pitchers never win MVPs. Statistically, in some ways, Tarik Skubal's season this year was better. And 13 innings scoreless to start out your playoff career, I mean, that just builds your legacy up and makes this year shine even more.
Lock him up, bro.
Lock
him up. There's no longer a question at all. I guess the only question is when you do it. But at this point in time, he's proven that he's worth the bag.
Yep.
Culture setter, man. It's not just a culture. He's here. He's a culture setter. Yeah, that's exactly what he is, man. And the way that he works with Federer and those guys, it's absolutely awesome. I got to tell you guys about something else that's awesome. Walking to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy $20 haircut special, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. All you got to do, just scan the QR code somewhere on the screen. It's somewhere on there, man. And you know what? You'll get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it is wicked awesome.
And you know what? While you're getting your haircut, you can always place a bet with Caesars Sportsbook right in the chair right there and watch us too through the window. So, hey, Caesars Sportsbook, scan the QR code on the screen right now. Use code Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, and all you got to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And if that bet doesn't hit, they will put it right back into your account.
Stop lying.
I am not lying. This is no joke. I'm telling you the truth here. Scan the QR code on screen. Use code Woodward1000. Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that D-Mac, who called it, trust, all right? Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And what up, though, people? We are back on another victory show. The Detroit Tigers, they tie up the ALDS 1-1. You see that kind of the red, they were amongst the Guardians. They were in their home. And Skubal was absolutely like, no, this is my home. He kind of had that Sheila Ford Hamp energy when she was walking around Lambeau, like, yeah, this is my place now. I'm taking out the mortgage. But man, oh man, oh man, shout out to Byrne. He's all down for the chance of Skubal. He said, Tiger fans better be giving Skubal the Goldberg entrance chant from now on.
Ooh.
Hey, I need my booth.
Skubal.
Hey.
Skubal. Skubal.
Let's rock. Don't let me down. Don't let us down, Detroit. Make sure that guy gets some chance, man. That's going to be Cy Scoobs very, very soon. But there's another person as well who deserves a lot of love, obviously.
Oh, yes.
We talked about it. The shot or the hit heard round Detroit.
Yes.
Mr. Kerry Carpenter, Kerry Bonds, Barry Carpenter. There's so many different ways that you can put this thing. But Kerry Carpenter, man, wow, what a way to come through in the aura. Especially on that third base to home and then back to the dugout.
Oh, yeah.
Carps, man.
With, like, the helmet flying off,
What a
too.
showman, dog. I was like, this is a movie. Like, what am I watching right now?
And I'm sure you guys have seen this on social media. You've seen the home run kind of synced up with the Moneyball theme when Scott Hatterberg hits his.
Yep, I've seen it.
That's
beautiful.
Born. That's
Shout out
beautiful
to
born to me. It combines a couple of my favorite
That's
things in the world.
$24.99. Word to KG.
Hey, It combines two of my favorite things in the world, the movie Moneyball and Kerry Carpenter bombs, specifically playoff bombs, specifically one of the most important home runs in the history of the Detroit Tigers. But we got to give love to Kerry Carpenter because I don't know if anybody exemplifies the gritty Tigers more than Kerry Carpenter. And I know the term grit sometimes is synonymous with lesser talent, and Kerry Carpenter is not one of those. He is very, very talented. But he's just faced so much adversity in his young career that I got to give him his flowers. I mean, he started off in 2019 as a 19th round draft pick. When you're a 19th round draft pick, you're probably expected to be stashed in the minors for a bunch of years and then wash out somewhere there. You're not expected to be a contributing member of a playoff team. But Kerry Carpenter, he beat the odds. In 2022, he gets brought up for the first time in August. And when Kerry Carpenter got brought up, I heard a lot of dismissiveness and just kind of like snarkiness, like, oh, we got another 25-year-old prospect, Kerry Carpenter. Ooh. But you know what Kerry Carpenter does? He makes the most of those 31 games. He ends up leading the team in OPS. And I get it. It was the 2022 Tigers, a terrible team, but still, Kerry Carpenter really provided this team a shot in the arm in his 31 games up, and he earned his way into being a part of the Tigers' future. In 2023, he starts the season on the roster, but again, he suffers through some injuries. He only plays 118 games, but just like the year before, he leads the team in OPS. As I was screaming from the rooftops all throughout the offseason when people were disrespecting Kerry Carpenter, I was always there. You guys get all over me for my bad takes. I was always there with Kerry Carpenter.
Hey,
always.
And you always face the bad takes.
Yes.
But you know what? This has been one of your more consistent takes. And even when he was out and you talked about the fact that you know what? If he was there, you said that the Detroit Tigers would make the playoffs. And when he got back, honestly, for me, I correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like it was a little sooner than it should have been. And then right away, he didn't waste no time, man. Got right away showing exactly who he is to the Detroit Tigers team.
I'm so glad that you mentioned it because I was just about to get to his 2024 season. I think when he was out, I don't think people gave it around this town and even around this network, gave it just the necessary runway that it should have gotten. Because you're talking about a team that struggled a lot when Kerry Carpenter was out, that looked like they played their way out of the playoffs. But one thing that I consistently said is like, wait a minute, Kerry Carpenter was an over 900 OPS guy when he plays. You take him out of the lineup, of course you're going to struggle a bit. It's not that the cupboard is bare, it's just a lot of what you have is hurt. You saw it with Kerry Carpenter, and then you saw it with Riley Green for a bit, and at the time we thought that the loss of Reese Olson would hurt, which obviously that didn't as much because of the bullpen days. But Kerry Carpenter this season, he comes up right away, is absolutely raking, having the best start to a season of his career, and then in late May, what happens? He goes down with a lumbar back stress fracture. And at the time, you hear that, you get kind of spooked. Like, is this guy going to come back? Is this guy's career in jeopardy? Is his season over? At that point, I didn't really know if I could expect anything from Kerry Carpenter moving forward. And during his timeout, as I said, the Tigers struggle. But he comes back, as you said, Kool-Aid. What does Kerry Carpenter do in his first game back?
Oh, it was a couple home runs.
2 home runs. What does he do in his second game back?
Another home run.
Another home run. What does he do throughout the rest of the season? He is one of the driving forces and the catalyst into a playoff run, which ended in him with finishing with a 932 OPS, which was 8th. I repeat, 8th in all of baseball for players with at least 250 plate appearances. And once again, leads the Tigers in OPS like he did the year before that and the year before that. And then what does he do in the playoffs? Comes through with one of the greatest moments in Detroit sports in a Tigers playoff history.
Great. You know what? Because I was about to read this before I throw it over to KG here on the back wall. Via OptaStats, Kerry Carpenter of the Tigers is the first MLB player to hit a 2-out, 2-strike, go-ahead home run in the 9th inning of a postseason game since Kirk Gibson did it in Game 1 of the 1988 World Series.
That is just incredible company to be in. Because,
it's amazing.
Like, seriously, when we talk, any of us who are baseball fans, this might be the Kirk Gibson home run might be the most played highlight that I've ever seen. You know, injured Kirk Gibson coming in as a pinch hitter off of the unhittable Dennis Eckersley.
Do we know what we're watching right now?
I'm not saying that this was the level of the Kirk Gibson home run, but given what had happened with the Tigers, that they hadn't been in the playoffs for 10 years, that they haven't won a World Series in 40, the Tigers, unfortunately, over the totality of their franchise, especially if you're not really old, there hasn't been a ton to cheer about. We had those runs in 06 and 2012, but they ended in disappointment. As I said, they had the longest playoff drought of any team besides the Los Angeles Angels, and now that they don't. And then Kerry Carpenter, the guy who on a per-game basis throughout the last 3 years has been the team's best hitter, had his playoff moment. And he's a Detroit legend for life, and I couldn't be happier of it happening to somebody that I've enjoyed watching so much.
And Sam, I agree. It didn't get the proper attention that it probably should have gotten at the time, but I think that's mostly because of the injury history.
Sure.
A lot of people in 2023, you know, Kerry Carpenter got hurt, and, you know, they argue, like, you know, is he really the guy for the job? Can he stay healthy for a full year? I literally on this network argued with Neil Rule about Kerry Carpenter, and when he got hurt again, especially with a lumbar back fracture, or well, not a fracture, but a lumbar back injury, you kind of thought like, oh, okay, here we go again, you know, type deal. But I know his numbers were good early, but he got hurt. So we needed to see him come back, and we needed to see him establish himself once again in this lineup. And to your credit, he did that. So I'm absolutely amazed by what Kerry Carpenter has brought to the table. I always said, like, you know, Torque is your 1-1 guy, and because of the power he has, he needs to be the long ball hitter for this team. He needs to be that big play at bat for this team. But I think it's Kerry Carpenter. I think the ship is maybe kind of sailed on Torque, and Kerry needs to be considered maybe one of your stars in this batting lineup going forward.
No, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, you could see it last night, man, just on this play. That's why, excuse me, I wanted to be able to capture it on the back wall that way from the hit to him rounding first base to him coming to home plate. It was just like, you know what? Maybe this is that moment where you're like, you know what? Kerry Carpenter has now cemented his place here.
He has. And KG, you were right. I wasn't. When I mentioned about the injuries hurting the Tigers, I mentioned Kerry Carpenter's absence. What he provided for the team up to the point where he was hurt was gone, and I thought that was big.
Yeah.
I wasn't calling for him to come back and do this because
Right.
lumbar stress fractures, you just never know.
We thought his season was over.
Everybody thought his season was over, but just imagine where the Tigers would be if Kerry Carpenter's season did end up being over. And that's why you can't write a guy off, because I think to some people, even me sometimes, even one of the biggest Kerry Carpenter fans I know, at points at least during July, when they were struggling, when they were playing a little bit better, it didn't matter. Kerry Carpenter became a little bit of out of sight, out of mind, because you didn't know if you would experience him again this season. But boy, did Tiger fans ever. You can argue he was the MVP of the last couple months of the season, and he had one of the biggest hits in Tigers history yesterday in a playoff win. Just shout out to Kerry Carpenter. And from everything that I hear, he's just as good of a guy as you'll ever meet. He's very strong in his faith, which I appreciate. So shout out Kerry Carpenter. You're the man.
Shout out to Kerry Carpenter. Key Ozzy. And there's another super chat in there, Randall Smalls. I'll let you read that one. That's a super chat. Flannel, while I'm reading Kiazi's, I'll let you find that one.
All right.
You'll see it. Kiazi, all in the D. Today, Pistons hosting the Suns. That is at the Breslin Center.
Hey.
I'm going to be getting down. Hopefully, I can make it to the shoot-around right after this show. And then a little bit of social stuff. Then we get up to the Breslin Center to be, I think you found the super chat. So we'll wait. So Pistons are today. Tomorrow, the Tigers host the Guardians here in the state as well. And Thursday, Red Wings are hosting the Pens. And Sunday, Lions at the Cowgirls.
Are we going to have some stuff to talk about on the show?
October 18th. Let's go.
But Rando Smalls, bet Sam's wife's favorite movie star is Brad Pitt. Moneyball. I mean, Brad Pitt's a pretty good actor. And, prime Brad Pitt, if he happened to make his way onto my wife's hall pass list, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Would you say to the Brad Pitt of Woodward Sports?
I mean, that's for others to say. That's not for me, but I'm not going to deny it.
You cooking out right now, man.
I think I'm. So nobody ever has like a free pass list with their spouse.
Hell no.
All right.
I gotta get Flannels back on that. I do with my girl. Like, we both have our hall pass list. If we come across certain celebrities or people like that, then yeah, it's like, all right, we'll let this one slide.
No, and I actually don't for real either. It's just we talk about celebrities that we find attractive. It's what you do as couples.
Of course.
It's what you do as couples.
Ain't no hall pass for Shadow. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Elevate, yo. What is happening?
Cooking out.
You know what? This is ever appropriate, too. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your current carrier is not slipping in anything extra.
You know where them freak off parties
See
go.
what I'm saying? There's like the no Diddy of insurance. They're going to protect you from the bad. All you got to do is call our guy Mark at Swiss Insurance. That number, 313-530-1698, or visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7th and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com.
Sorry, I just read the chat. But hey, while you're helping out the Salvation Army, wear some Woodward Sports gear as well too. Head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. New designs are dropping every single week for you guys. But you know we got the Boodoo Kids, you got the Stoke Not Scared, and you know we got the Woodward Tigers as well too. I think Skubal needs some new merch on our shop as well too.
Yeah, that
we gotta
Detroit
talk to
sign
somebody.
shirt.
No, not the Detroit sign. We need Skubal shirts right now. Head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab, get swagged out. Game 3.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's another victory show. Thank you to Scoobs and Carp. We just gave them their flowers. If you missed it, definitely go back and check it out. But we got to talk about just exactly what the Detroit Tigers did, man, to Class A. And for me, this, like, I'm going to continue to say it. I wanted to see the Detroit Tigers get to what many people believe are one of the main strengths of the Guardians. Get to that bullpen. I heard it was impenetrable. I heard it was invincible. And yesterday, 28 pitches. They made them work, bro. Yep. 4 hits, 3 runs, and it was absolutely and 1 home run.
Who hit that? You know, Mr. Bonds, Kerry Bonds.
Man, who called that?
I think D-Mac called it.
Someone told me. D-Mac called it.
I heard.
But I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody called for, nobody on 2 outs, Jake Rogers and Trey Sweeney to start a rally that would ultimately end up in a go-ahead home run. I don't think anybody called that, but you know what? That's what happened. And I really wanted to paint a picture of just how amazing it was what the Tigers did in the top of the ninth. Because Emmanuel Clase, I know we've talked about him a lot. We've talked about how he is the best closer in baseball, about he was potentially a problem for the Tigers moving forward. Do you know how many earned runs Emmanuel Clase allowed in the entire regular season this year? Anybody care to guess?
How many?
I want to just say 0. He's had to be balling or dealing.
Okay, not 0. 5. Okay.
Yeah, 5. I was about to say 0. That's crazy.
0. Yeah.
A 0.0. I mean, my goodness, that would be insane. But no, he's allowed 5, which is over a course of an entire season. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's 162 games.
That's how you get a 0.
Playoffs, but you said course of the season.
Yeah, of course of the season. Okay. Yes, that's how you get a 0.6 ERA. And the Tigers in the top of the ninth, they got 3 off of him. 3/5 of the earned runs he allowed in the entire regular season. That's what the Tigers just did. And it was Jake Rogers and it was Trey Sweeney getting on base, which, as I said before, if you're Emmanuel Clase staring at that possibility, you're probably halfway to the dugout already. But you know what? Jake Rogers and Trey Sweeney said, F that. And then Kerry Carpenter, as we know, he's been on a day-to-day basis, certainly when it comes to right-handers, your best hitter on your team, and he got the biggest hit of his life. But Emmanuel Clase, I know we can make our jokes now, but that man is formidable. He was formidable. He's still going to be formidable. He just happened to have his worst day against the Tigers. You just hate to see it. I'm kidding, of course.
No, it's still going to be a battle. Like I don't want to make light of it. I feel like the Tigers, if there's a team that can battle the Guardians, that AJ Hinch is kind of this surgical tactician as it relates to what he can do with his lineup. And maybe that's why we see Jake Rogers in there sometimes when even we don't think he should be. I'm sure each one of those appearances, it pays dividends to what we see a guy like him do last night. And AJ Hinch is able to pull those strings. It's not going to be 100%. It's not. But we saw after the trade deadline, and they made a few tweaks, got him a few more tools to be able to utilize. Yeah, they lost some games to the tune of maybe 11 or 12 down the stretch, but they also won a whole lot of games doing it his way. And that's that's what gives me optimism about the Detroit Tigers against the Guardians' vaunted bullpen, is that so far, more so than not, I'm talking about, 75% of the time down the stretch, he's pulling the right strings.
Oh yeah, no, I mean probably more
With
than
no bats.
probably more than 75, at least down the stretch of the season. And John effing Lord, you're being a real piece of work today. You didn't believe in Rake Rogers. Stop answering for all of us. John effing Lord, you're gonna sit here and tell me that with nobody on, 2 outs in the top of the ninth, with the Guardians bullpen looking as dominant as it has, with Emmanuel Clase up there, you thought that Jake Rogers and Trey Sweeney would get back-to-back hits to extend the inning.
Yeah.
Stop lying. I can talk about how amazing it was. I can talk about how, Jake Rogers has come through a couple of times in these situations, how Trey Sweeney, what an acquisition he was. He got a nice hit, and then Kerry Carpenter did what he did. But don't act like I'm hating on your boyfriend, Rake Rogers, for not believing that they would make a 2-out rally off of Emmanuel freaking Clase. Stop it! All of this, oh my God, I'm going to dunk nuts in the face on Flannel Sam. How about we celebrate? Come on! Because I was a little skeptical that they were going to rally going against Emmanuel Clase. Oh my God, you hate Rake Rogers! I want to die.
There's a clip.
I think you do got to repent a little bit on the Walrus, man.
What?
I'm just saying, man.
And you know what?
He's had a hell of a playoffs,
Y'all
man.
have a way to
He's
tip
had a hell of a
Sam
playoffs.
on a victory show.
Hey, you know what? Here's what we do. Because I see a lot of this in the chat, and I didn't want to go here. How about we cut Riley Green mid-playoffs and give Jake Rogers a 10-year, $100 million extension? How about that?
The chat is saying that he was just trying to push your buttons.
Got him.
You didn't believe that it would be that they would make that rally
Bobby K
against
said,
Emmanuel
look
Clase.
what we did.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You believe
Fire.
it. Congratulations, John Effin Lord. You're
Hey,
the only one.
I see.
Playoffs are a clean slate. You said that yourself.
I see Chinavirus. He said his Kool-Aid suggesting AJ is better than Dan. I don't know when I suggested that, but it is an interesting conversation. I don't know where I suggested that at all, but it is an interesting thought. Just because we know what AJ Hinch has done, and you hear people all the time say things like, "Well, if you think you're really so hot, go and do it in Detroit." AJ Hinch has come here and he's doing it in Detroit right now.
Oh yeah, no, and AJ Hinch and Dan Campbell, that's actually could end up being a really interesting conversation, depending on how these
I hope
playoffs
it does.
go.
I hope
Yeah.
that's super first world problems.
Like honestly, I hate to make it this simplistic, but you almost have to choose whoever makes farther in the playoffs. Although, credit to Hinch, we knew that the Lions had a ready-made Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
We didn't think that the Tigers had a playoff roster. And don't get me wrong, I was higher on what they had than most, but I think everybody at some point was like, you know what? The Tigers, they sold at the deadline. They had all these injuries. They have one starting pitcher. They're not going to go to the playoffs. And AJ Hinch, to his credit and to the credit of a lot of the young guys, the young hitters and the bullpen arms, said, not so fast, my friend. So it's a real conversation, AJ Hinch and Dan Campbell, for real.
Because they do also have strong assistant coaches as well. That's an interesting one, man. It got me thinking. I was like, I didn't even know I was saying that or doing that, but just thinking about it, it just instantly brought me to really how blessed we are with really some of our front office structures and our coaching. So it makes me optimistic about those Pistons as well. I know it's just preseason, but hey, they got things started off right. And with the Detroit Tigers, I'm hoping they can keep things going the right way. Shout out to the Ski Mask boy. We nutted on Class A.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. All right.
Hey, yo! You know what that's a reference to?
Yeah.
JB, you'll remember this day when I really misused my words when I was ranting on Deion Sanders.
Of course. Of
You
course
remember
this is
that
when
day?
you was talking about Deion Sanders.
What did you say? I can't remember.
Well, I meant to say, we're, blowing wads over Deion Sanders or something like that, but instead I said, we're nutting on him. I think that's what that was in reference to.
What the fuck?
Hey, you know what? You know what?
Big Muskie, you a freaky ass boy, man. I gotta tell you.
Well, not me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the one who was doing it. It was you people. But to be fair, and this is
leave Dion alone,
hey,
man. He don't deserve. He don't deserve the hood comment, and he don't deserve to be none of those. You're like, come on, these are not. This is not your best work.
I wasn't talking about doing it because like I wanted to besmirch him. I was talking about the people who wanted to because they were so in love with him. But to be fair, and KG, you're gonna be surprised.
Yes.
Colorado's 4-1.
I tried to tell you. Do you believe?
That was a nice win at Central Florida. That was a nice win.
Oh my gosh. Bro, let's get into the next segment, man. This has been a show. It's been a show, man. And we still got a lot more to talk about. The Detroit Tigers, they got ALDS Game 3 right around the corner, man. I can't wait.
I don't think the people are ready.
I
Comerica
don't
Park
think we
is
are.
going to be ravenous.
It's gonna be wild. Like,
It's not even Comerica Park. It's even downtown as well, too. I
Yeah.
guarantee you
Be
tomorrow
somewhere
is
downtown.
going to be crazy.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we don't understand what we're about to see, but let's talk about it. Let's all talk about it and get the chat
Bro, I got
involved
tears in my eyes,
as well,
dog.
because I don't even know if we can paint a picture of really how excited we are of what the atmosphere is going to be like, but we are certainly going to try. But what you can paint a picture of is that car that Spencer Raxter is driving around in, and he got that from Les Stanford. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
What up, though, people? We heard you guys. You said you wanted to be able to partake in these watch parties with Wake Up Woodward, and now you can. New Holland Brewing Company watch party with the heavyweights and other Woodward sports personalities, as well as the post-game show hosted by Stick and Anson. It's live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. We want you guys to come out there, eat, drink, and cheer on the brand new Lions at Hayes, only on Detroit's #1 sports network. So if you can't get there, then make sure that you're tapped in online. It's the perfect companion to the game. You can root on the Detroit Lions with your favorite team, Woodward Sports. This is all brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Total Your Local Lawn Drink, 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee, and the Soroki. So if you haven't had it, come out to Hayes Socials. We'll make sure to hook you up. And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you, chat family, for choosing to kick off today with the WUW Crew. It's your boy Brandon Dan, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the network, the vet of the squad. I keep telling y'all, the more things change, the more Flannel stays the same. this elite booth right here. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood in the sound booth. What up, though?
D-Man called it.
Hey. Shout out to WUW Sports MVP. In the city booth, because it's a Tuesday, man. That is JB Smooth.
Big breasts.
I mean, it is a Tuesday. I can't complain. Shout out to them Gritty Tigs as well, too. Won me some money yesterday as well.
Hey.
Hey. Shout out to that dude, Justin,
Ooh, wait a
intern
minute.
Chase, and one Matthew Broder. Love you, bro.
I think we buried the lead. Are you not emotionally hedging with the Tigers anymore?
Oh,
I
good
don't-
call, Sam.
That's a
Good call.
I am not. I've
right.
got my head on straight now, and I've got, a set of bets that I like pretty much, and it definitely had to put Skubal in there with strikeouts. My man did his thing yesterday.
Yeah, he
So, hey, pair that with carry hits and Sweeney hits as well, too. Oh, it's cash.
Nice.
Easy money.
That's actually that's a really nice parlay for
Yeah,
real. Like
big facts.
And Trey Sweeney, you probably got some pretty nice odds on that one.
Yep.
I
So-
did. I can't remember what the number was, but hey, it was in a positive. So,
Shout out.
Courtesy of Caesar Sportsbook.
oh, of course, always.
And just for the record, I was never mad at you for emotionally hedging. I do it sometimes too. Sometimes it's the only way to avoid.
Yeah, you do the
know.
weird things to try to protect yourself, your fandom. Yeah, I get it.
We're
bro.
a little
because-
superstitious. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
the mojo.
Because unfortunately, it was a burden that I was born with and can never seem to shake. Losses give me like earth-shattering heartbreak that literally ruined my life. So I need some money.
That's facts. I done seen Sam in action, so that is factual.
Oh man, you know what? Woo! We got to talk about ALDS Game 3, and I do believe that the Detroit Tigers, AJ Hinch, they're going to give themselves the best chance to make some magic happen here in Detroit. We've seen it a lot now over the last couple months, but my mind does also go to just how insane Detroit, the suburbs, the entire state of Michigan, and Detroit Tigers fans everywhere. Because let me make sure that I am very, very appropriate here. Of course, we're boots on the ground here. We get out and about to the games. We're there often. We work there. We live. Some of us live there. But I see a lot of people in the chats, a lot of people in the comments across social media, a lot of people in the reels and the shorts who are like, you know what? Thank you guys for what you do, especially on the reactions. They're like, yo, I'm all the way in Seattle. One person was in Japan, and they literally sent screenshots of them watching the shows. One person was in California. There's people all over who are like, thank you guys for what you do. I know Chuck Brewer, one of our friends, one of your frenemies. Yeah. Even his schedule is not on our schedule, but there are people who are plugged in and dedicated, and they're supporting us. And I'm hoping that we're doing a good job for you guys as well. But I know that Detroit is going to be absolutely insane, man, and I cannot wait. Just be somewhere. If you can't get in the game, be somewhere around the action.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if we can comprehend what that atmosphere is going to be like. And KG, I mean, you were a vendor during some of those runs. I mean, what was it like those days?
It's crazy because it's not like a regular season game, man.
That's a good call.
When you go for the playoffs, like the media attention is greater. Like you'll see every news station down there, 247, ESPN, MLB Network. I mean, the energy in the building is just different, man. The police presence is more. Like everything is different about the playoffs, man. And this is something that we haven't experienced as Tiger fans for quite some time, a whole decade, 10 to 12 years, man. That's a very, very long time. So, man, I'm just excited for the city, man, to be able to see an actual sold out Comerica Park. It's a beautiful sight, man. And when the Tigers win, it brings everyone together, man. I remember the ALCS victory. I got hugs from, I don't know, like so many random people that I've never known, that I'll never see again, man. But
all of that, man.
It's such a vibe and it's such a presence. But this team has a chance to really do something special. And I'm just glad that this generation of Tigers fans get to experience winning Tiger baseball, because there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's been some down years in Detroit sports. And, I often tell Flannel, I think he'd make a good journalist. That was a great question to KG, because I even forgot as well. He's had kind of this ground level view of the Detroit Tigers and worked there in years where he was like, guys, get it back together. And it's not just working there, it's being a part of that environment. One that we haven't really felt outside of the Lions in a long time. Obviously, the Pistons, they made the playoffs some time ago, and Detroit showed out even for that, man.
Oh, yeah.
So applause to you guys. But this is the Tigers. in the ALDS. Not even just the first playoff game, which they would have been rocking to. We're talking about Tigers team where this fan knows each one of our cheers isn't just for a cute season. This is because we know our Tigers can actually do something great this season. That's when you know it's going to be absolutely insane. If it had a roof, they would definitely blow it off. But since they don't, Cleveland, you're going to hear us. You're going to hear us.
Yeah, it's not only the Tigers. It's just such a renaissance for Detroit sports, and it's really is cool to get a front row seat to all of that. And yeah, it's another angle with the Tigers. They're playing Cleveland. Cleveland is not. It's a short drive from here, so I'm guessing there's probably going to be some Guardian fans that invade the city of Detroit as well. So it'll be
treat them right.
Yeah, treat them right. Don't be combative in a nice way.
Talk trash.
Just talk some trash about your about your teams. Like if you're a Tigers fan and you want to talk some ish about Emmanuel Clase, now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Assay. Saw that yesterday.
If you're a Cleveland fan and you want to say, Skubal and then who else is your pitcher, go ahead and do that. But keep it between the lines. But it's just kind of interesting that not only is it an ALDS, it's an ALDS between a divisional opponent right in the same region. And I just think there will be a lot of fan mixing going on. But Comerica Park will be majority Tigers fans.
Oh, you bet your ass.
I cannot wait to see it.
And I got to say, this would make up for the 2 to 3 years that Cleveland has absolutely destroyed us in the regular season. If the Tigers can close this thing out at home, you got 2 games to where you can shut this shit down. That would make up for years of Cleveland just absolutely obliterating the Tigers, man. I can't wait for it.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Everyone's over here talking about be calm, be cool, be comfortable
Talk
downtown.
to him, voice of reason.
No, fuck that. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Go
Tell him, Jay Bizzle.
Go wild tomorrow. Like, I want to come in here and see videos of people just wilding out in the streets of downtown, either because you got too drunk before the game,
Listen to
or
the voice
after
of
the
reason,
game we
people.
won, and then you're sitting here going crazy. Like, it's been a decade since we've seen this team in a playoff spot. Like, go crazy. Enjoy the moment that you have right now, because who knows when we might actually be able to get this opportunity once again. So, dude, go all out tomorrow. Like, I want to see some wild videos when I pop up here on Thursday.
Please tag us in everything. I'm telling you guys, man, tag us in everything. We'll get y'all up on socials. We'll make sure those reactions are seen by as many people as possible. I'm looking at the numbers from the reaction videos already. It's millions already, man, just from this little Tigers run. And we want to make sure that we start including you all in it. So if you have a reaction, hey, post it to your socials, tag us in it. We'll make sure we include you guys in some of the fan reaction reels that we're going to start putting together, because I already know Detroit's going to be crazy. All over the city, your pregame stuff, your watch party stuff, if you're at the game, just send us the post-game. Let's rock, man. Detroit, it's going to be on one.
Yes, and for the record, JB, you're right. Maybe I wasn't calling it for being golf claps at these in these environments. I want it to get wild. I want it to get rowdy. I hope that Tiger fans absolutely show out, and they will.
We know about long drink flannel.
Hey, hey, most famous on opening day. Who would have thought we'd be in the playoffs by now?
So you did this. Long drink flannel is the magic. You know what? We might need you to drink some long drinks during the game tomorrow.
Ooh.
We might, man. We might
twist my arm. Why don't you?
Right? And do we have an idea who might be on the mound, Flannel Sam? Who would your guess be? I think they do an opener, and they'll probably go with Sean Gunther, because I really like what Gunther has brought to the table.
Let me see if they have anything listed. I don't think it'll be Gunther as an opener because he hasn't really done it. I would say
still undecided right now.
Yeah, you could have Brisky, you could have Hannafy, you could go Holton even. I honestly, I wouldn't hate Tyler Holton. Just get him right back out there. Because Tyler Holton, if he goes out and pitches the first innings in a Comerica Park playoff game in 10 years, he's going 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
he's not letting what happened to him at Cleveland happen again. So you know what? Now that we're talking it out, I want Tyler Holton as the opener in Game 3.
Okay.
Right some wrongs.
Yeah.
Right some wrongs.
I'm with that.
I like that, man.
Redemption arcs are good. Even though it's kind of silly to think that Tyler Holton has anything that he needs to redeem himself for, given that this is kind of a free roll. But
and he's had a great season.
He has. But you know, he probably wants to redeem himself.
And it's important, too. If they have plans on going further, you want to make sure that these guys, that their heads are in the right place. Just the same way that I want to see us get after the Guardians bullpen, put a little bit more pressure on them, have them thinking to themselves, what's next? Like, I want to see it just in the same light, kind of the opposite of that. Hey, go out there and have a good game. Get out of your own head. And if this Tigers run goes a little bit longer, he's somebody that's going to have to play a vital part in that.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
definitely. I want to see it.
And to be real, your bullpen has to get you a game.
It has to.
And,
That's how they're
it doesn't,
constructed.
It doesn't matter how it looks at this point. It could be ugly, but your bullpen has to go out there and absolutely like pitch to the best of their ability, because you do not want to let this series go back to Cleveland. I promise you that. In this while it's in Detroit.
Man, oh man, I like the sounds of that, and they've given themselves the opportunity. This thing is tied 1-1, the ALDS against the Guardians. And I know this is not about stoked or scared. The Tigers weren't even supposed to be here, and there's a lot of people, even before the playoffs started, was like, man, if we run into the Guardians, they're a buzzsaw. Even us. We thought that the Detroit Tigers had a chance to do something in the AL Central. We thought they had an opportunity to battle for the wild card, but when we saw the Guardians get off to the start they did, we were like, did any of us really see this? But now we see our Tigers locked in a battle with them, all sitting here confident that, you know what, they got the recipe to make something happen. And that is just beautiful. And think about this, no matter what you thought about the deals, they've needed every bit of what those returns have given them down this stretch. Every single bit of it, bro.
Even the Justin Verlander trade. Hey, we got the better end of it with Rake Rogers. John effing Lord thinks so. But no, seriously.
The Walrus, baby.
It is kind of crazy how that happened. And the Trey Sweeney, he gets a hit as well.
Yep.
Just, a lot of there was a long time in the Justin Verlander trade for that Jake Rogers included, with a lot of questionable trades. And by questionable, I mean horrific. But it's funny that when you make the playoffs, these some of these start to come to fruition. Even Justin Henry Malloy, somebody you forget about, has been very good in this playoffs as well. Yep. Although don't get thrown out at second. I don't blame him for nitpick. We can move on.
I get this stuck somewhere between, man, we got to be aggressive on these base paths because we leave people on base.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the conversation you and I were having yesterday. It's like, they leave people on base, but when they score, it's because
of course
they're
doing aggressive
what
base
he's trying to do. But that's where I get you. But then it's like when you're playing up against this Guardians bullpen, I get you. Every base runner and every opportunity matters.
Sure,
every single one matters.
And I was just being nitpicky. Justin Henry Malloy, you've showed out so far. And,
for real. Do you know him and Matt Vierling got on base a lot
Matt
yesterday.
Vierling, absolutely.
That's right, man.
And we're gonna get a Riley Green game on Wednesday. That's what we're gonna get.
Because if he does it, man, you got to do some defending.
Oh, but if he does,
yeah.
Well, you know what?
All of you, you're dead. But anywho,
this man.
Look at that aura, man.
You talk shit about a man after 4 playoff games, you're dead. Anywho, 1800 tequila. Maybe have a shot of that before I.
Hey.
But it's got to happen first. 1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila at Woodward Sports every Lions game, live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste of tequila. Drink responsibly.
And the Boys and Girls Club.
Hey, the Boys and Girls Club. What an organization that it is. They have youth football leagues, which you can register for now at 3C Sports. At bgcsm.org, they've got locations in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, East Point, youth football leagues, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field. They cost only $175 per child, and that is all encompassing. So if you want to be a part of a great organization and, teach some kids some competitive sports in football, Boys and Girls Club.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Hey, how would you like $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with the QR code and bring it into any Dispo location, and you'll get a free $10 to spend in store with a minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and we've talked Tigers, man. Hey, shout out to Kerry Bonds and Mr. Skubal. That's spelled with the CY because it's his award to lose. And Game 3 of the ALDS is tomorrow. We got Pistons and Suns at the Breslin Center. The house, I'm going to say the house that Izzo built. Hey, we got Red Wings later on this week, and we also have the Detroit Lions on Sunday. It is officially October in the D, but it's also officially the postseason in the MLB. And the Royals tied things up with the Yanks, man. They beat them 4-2. It's now tied 1-1 in their series.
Oh, yes, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that. And as Tiger fans, we should be invested. And I'm not saying to look ahead. I'm not saying to dismiss the Guardians. It's just I think the Tigers are in the power position, and I think you could have an interesting matchup no matter who you face. You saw Kansas City tie the series last night with a big 4-2 win. And oh, by the way, let me just say this. I'm going to do what Neil Rule often does. Is Bobby Witt a bum? Is he a postseason choker as well? You guys want to say that about Riley Green? Look at Bobby Witt. Oh, but his regular season? But when I say that about Riley Green, it's not okay. I digress. You guys are bums for burying this man after 4 games. But anywho.
Bobby Witt did have a good game in there, though. Can't say the same for Riley Green.
Riley Green has been on base in every playoff game he's ever been in. Is that good? It's not up to his standards. Don't get me wrong. It's not up to his standards.
That's all I'm saying. Like, he just got to show up a little bit more. I'm not saying he's an ass player by any means, but you need some of your guys to come on strong. Like, luckily, Kerry Carpenter, who got pinch hit for Justin Henry Malloy. Luckily, he did hit the home run yesterday, but you need some of your younger guys to step up. I'm looking at Riley Green. I'm looking at Colt Keith. In particular, man, Torkelson, we could say Torque, but we all kind of know the story with him at this point. So those guys need to step up, in my opinion.
You're 100% right. 100% right, because when you look at some of the names that they've had to rely on, Rogers and Sweeney, you're just like, wow. Yeah. If you told me that beforehand, these are the guys that are getting your hits late in the game, I'd be like, what? Seriously?
Yeah, exactly.
But I have confidence, for whatever reason, in him coming back to Detroit. Being in the mojo and the vibes here, he's had some big hits down the stretch of the season and finding that groove for this ALDS Game 3. I saw it in the chats. I forgot who said it, but they said obviously this game is a must-win. I believe, Gromit, 0237, tomorrow is a must-win. Yeah. Absolutely is a must-win. I believe that he's going to step up to the plate and he's going to give us a big hit. I do. I just feel that. Can you will that for us, Flannel Sam, from your godson?
Yeah, I can.
Let's go.
I can, because you can't keep a man who's that good down for that long. No. And as I said before, Riley Green has not been good enough this postseason. I will not run from that. But for people basically calling him a choker, that he's not clutched, I heard from you, John Macaroon, by the way. Don't think I got eyes everywhere. I got eyes everywhere.
Leave Doc alone.
I'm not leaving Doc alone, because you know what? Oh, when he gets a big hit, you are getting gatekeeped so bad. You are getting gatekeeped like a bofo. You're not cheering for shit. And you're dead, by the way.
Are you going to do to him what you did to Deion Sanders?
Oh, keep it in your pants.
For the record, it was never about me. It was about the people that probably would have if they got the chance, just for the record. But, no. But
Hey, I love it.
For real. I just like the fact that we can actually look at the other ALDS and kind of think, ooh, this could be an interesting matchup, because Kansas City, one thing that I noticed last night was that Cole Reagan's pitched a hell of a game again. He's another one who's one of the better pitchers in the American League and has really shown up. Looks like he's been a postseason elevator as well, and he pretty much made the Yankees bats look silly. Juan Soto went over. Aaron Judge continuing his postseason. Hey, Aaron Judge must be a bum too. But no, but his postseason struggles, it's interesting. And they also got Seth Lugo. But with the Yankees, I just think it would be such a fun matchup. But you never know. You never know, because I don't really want any part of what Juan Soto has to offer. But also with the Yankees pitching staff, I think they're very hittable. Garrett Cole, another one who struggled a lot in the postseason. He struggled in Game 1. He got bailed out by his teammates. Carlos Rodon, no disrespect, but he's Carlos Rodon. He's not somebody that I fear him about as much as I feared like Tanner Bybee. And for the record, Tanner Bybee pitched well, but he's more in that tier, maybe a little bit worse. And then Luis Gil is a rookie. It's an interesting potential matchup. But yeah, when it comes to the Yankees, a lot of their lower guys, like Alex Verdugo, is showing up in the postseason, which is crazy in and of itself. And Aaron Judge isn't, but that's just the nature of the postseason. You think that if you can get through a Judge and a Soto that you're fine, but maybe not. Maybe you've got some guys who are looking to make their legacies with the Yankees.
Yep. And hey, you know what? Shout out to the chat, man. I see you guys in there. I see you, Greg. I see you, Jan. Shout out. Tammy. It is
Morning, Tammy.
Regulars. I saw Edge in there earlier. Obviously, Key Ozzy. I see you, George, man. I see you guys in there. I'm telling you, just a fan, IT Hips. I'm trying to just everybody I see you guys, man. I'm telling you, the support, it means a lot. I even see you, Dad, with Tourette's. He says, has this show given Al Avila his props yet? Anyone?
He made a lot of draft picks that turned out to be good in hindsight. I'll say that.
Okay, there we go. All right, so we have what's trending with JB Smooth?
Yeah, that concludes our Al Avila segment for the day.
Right, please.
Love you, Dad, with Tourette's. So. No. Thank you guys for the support.
They got salvaged.
Seriously. Oh, man. All right, let's get to this next segment. Got to pay some bills real quick. Where we going? What we got here, Mr. JB Smooth?
I believe it's over to me for Soroki's. I got to tell you guys about Soroki's. They haven't done in a minute, but you know, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a new limited time offer just in time for this football season or baseball season as well too. Soroki's is debuting their fresh signature flavored wings. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add fresh wings for any game this weekend or even tomorrow as well too. Try one of their 7 different flavors. I know they'll be having them at the watch party tomorrow as well too, and you should pick up some as well. Head over to Soroki's, or you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Hey, listen, you want to know where the best Lions pregame parties are? It's at Detroit's very own Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show. Only at Second Best Bar. Come get some. Man, we are back. This energy is amazing. And I know that Detroit is going to carry this into ALDS Game 3 tomorrow. Shout out to Dante151. I see you, man. The $4.99 super chat.
Shout out.
Did people forget that this is going to be the 5th game for a lot of these young Tigers players who haven't played this deep in the MLB? That was what we were talking about, a little bit of the hangover, a little bit of the fact that these guys might have been a little bit tired. But, hey, AJ Hinch has still found a way to pull the right strings, and now if we can get some of those guys that were used to performing like Riley Green, Flannel, I don't know. I'm optimistic about it, man. I really think he's going to get something.
I am too, but Riley Green's story is written. He's a choker. He doesn't come through the big moments after 4 playoff games. So you must think Mike Trout's a choker too. He had 1 playoff run and he was 1 for 12.
Yeah,
throw him away. Let's take him out of the Hall of Fame and let's take Riley Green and just throw him off this team. Make Rake Rogers your star. Make Justin Henry Malloy your corner outfielder. See how that works for you next year. Bitch asses. I'm a little passionate about this.
Clearly.
Because
Stand on business, Sam. Stand on business.
Hey, you know, we passed one of our like goals today, too. So, you know what? I'm going to let Sam select today who's going to be our merch giveaway for some Woodward Tigers merch.
Oh, I can tell you a lot of people who it's not going to be.
He's holding biases.
Hey, let's spark up word to this for JB Smooth.
Let's get it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Jay Bizza! Flannel over here going crazy.
Oh, Flannel, you going crazy, man. You are going crazy. But
y'all better be wooing Flannel, man. He's going to be selected who's going to win this Woodward Tigers merch. Let's rock, JB.
Definitely try to woo Flannel. I know I won't be wooing Flannel with this one, though. I know we haven't talked a whole lot of Michigan football, and I know they lost, but
we didn't talk enough.
My Spartans lost as well, too. But Flannel, I got to ask, is this your burner account? And also, Mike G, I'm looking at you as well, too. I need to know, is this your guys' burner account?
I can't wait for this.
Anybody want to read this? Anybody?
Can people stop doing this?
Yeah, bro, just stop, man. Stop.
Because then this guy was like, I'm not actually going to eat it. Well, then why post something like that?
Oh, yeah.
We all of us Michigan fans knew in our hearts that Michigan should beat Washington, but I don't care if Michigan was playing home against I don't know, Slippery Rock. I'm not making this kind of a declaration. It's just idiotic.
What school is that? Slippery Rock.
Slippery Rock.
It's a real school,
in
actually.
Pennsylvania.
It's right next to Bishop Sycamore, but
more than likely, probably.
That is crazy. That's probably Ryan Ermanni's burner, bro. Because
Ryan's burner.
He hangs on the fate of every game, man. He said he was ready to jump after this last game.
I'll be honest though.
I'm just saying.
I would never post something like that because I think I maybe have a little more self-control on the Twitter fingers than Ryan Ermanni, but I get it, man. Why was I cursed with like just
gotta stop,
live
man.
and die just way with my teams?
Right, all or
sucks.
nothing.
It's funny though because Shad mentioned in the chat before, it's like, so you're a sore loser. Oddly enough, when it comes to my sports teams, I absolutely am. I'm the biggest sore loser you know. But when it comes to like games like Monopoly or shit, I don't really care. Like honestly,
no, that's where I'm losing it, bro. Like, are you
kidding me?
Real. 4 games?
Don't get black people around Monopoly. This shit get real.
And then like, look, man, I can play cards, but there are people that play it way better than me. And when they get into it, goodness gracious, bro, the way people be smacking the cards on the table and everything, I'm like, gosh, like you just smacked somebody's hand. Like it's getting physical now. I thought we was playing cards.
Hey, I will tell you right now, don't let a game of Uno get intense because it will start some fights. I will just let you know that right now.
I seen somebody throw an Uno reverse card in somebody's face, bro. Like it was gambling.
Damn,
it was just like,
shit get real.
It's aggressive.
Hey,
goodness.
I gotta read Detroit Dabber 313's comment, man. Offering to eat dog poop with a 3-point spread is wild.
That's fair.
It is. Yeah, you going on a limb, buddy.
Well, I don't know whose that is, but someone needs to track him down because apparently he is not paying up for this bet.
You gotta pay up.
Hey, it is what it is. Kool-Aid, you send me this, so I just gotta know from you all: is it funny? Is it disrespectful? Or is this just bad sportsmanship?
I don't really know what it was.
Yeah.
You can get it. You can get it.
Beat him so
Even
bad.
the coach can get it, bro.
Hey,
You
man.
can get it.
I like
Coach,
this
coach,
kid,
there
man.
you go.
I like this kid. Yeah, I'm gonna shake your hand, but I'm gonna put that belt to that ass, man. That is crazy. Look at the kid. That's the best part. The other kid got mad as hell.
Hey, you know what? And he knew too. All right.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. If on the other team, I'm fighting that kid for sure. Cause yeah, you can't come around with a belt, man. They probably got blue out.
I don't even know what I would do if my kid did that. Good Kool-Aid. Sportsmanship.
The coaches let him do it.
Stop that kid, Kool-Aid.
No, and I coach like Powell League, man.
Yeah.
The coaches let him do this. Because any other coach would be like, what the hell? Like, no, we not doing that.
Where you get a belt from?
That's hilarious, though.
Hey, I like how his friend behind him, though, after the big man pushed him, I like how his homie was like, hold on, bro. What we doing? What we doing? Like, look at it. Look at it one more time, bro. As soon as the dude push him.
You know they got their
That's what I'm
ass
talking about. Look at this.
whooped.
Boom,
That
look
was
at him.
like
Look at my man. He right there. What's up? I like that, though. I like that.
That was a 62-0 victory, bro. I promise. Because
don't like it.
No, to the shock of absolutely no one. I hate this.
No, it's not good sportsmanship.
In youth
It's not.
sports, what's better than the good game, good game?
Exactly.
Come on, it's
Like,
a fabric.
yeah. That's why I'm like, the coach allowed this
Yeah.
because most coaches would have been like, yeah, that's a little too far. Like,
I like it for entertainment. As a father, that's somebody who's run camps. Absolutely not.
Right. Yeah.
Well, speaking of coaching, KG, since you brought that up, I know a coach wouldn't allow that, but would you allow this if you were a coach?
Oh. Oh, shit. I mean, I'll allow it if he the best player on the team. That's the only way.
Coach sat him immediately?
Like, if you making layups like that, you probably the best player on the team. That's crazy.
Big contact.
Right. Coach sat him on the bench.
Hey, Fredo was the ref, huh?
Oh.
What are you doing if you see that?
Getting the hook.
Yeah. If you averaging like 4 points a game and you just happen to make a good play and do that, yeah, come sit your ass on the pine. But
Shout out to the coach, though, for just, here's some bench.
right, like, that's a little wild, though. That's a wild
Off of a
celebration.
layup. Like, really?
That is pretty wild.
Hey, it was a reverse off the glass, though. That no looker. It was kind of dope.
Does that celebration even have a name? That's
have-
pretty
I don't
wild,
even wanna
bro.
call it anything.
Yeah,
that is pretty wild.
That's the don't drop that dunk to the, I don't know.
Is that one where if you're an opponent, you take a hard foul just to put this kid on his ass?
Right.
Yes.
We call that the Megan Thee Stallion right there.
Chat family, help me understand. Chat family, what is the name
That's
of
the
this
Megan.
dance? I'm seeing some people in the chat.
That's the Megan.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
And finally, I will end what's trending.
Wait, no, can you play one more time? I'm sorry, bro.
Can you play it one more time?
One more
I got
time.
you. I got
Jay-Z
you.
said the cheerleaders' reactions. I don't know why I didn't see them, bro. Hold on, dog. Where are the cheerleaders at doing this? Hold on. Them girls, you see all their mouths? All their hands go over their mouths like, oh my gosh.
You know who he is.
Dog.
Ain't got to say his name.
They know him, bro. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
Gasp.
Oh,
my God.
Just terrible. Just terrible. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. Takes me back to my old skating days, but God knows I would never be a BMXer.
Oh! I thought it was going to go totally different.
No.
That could have went worse, actually.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? He didn't knock himself out.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's tough. Eesh.
See, this is why I would never do BMX. This is just terrible.
I thought he was going face first into the little pulley grinder across, but yeah, that's pause. But yeah, that shit.
Holy grinder.
Jesus, man. But I didn't know people were still BMXing out there, man.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
Damn.
Dog. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
brush
Like,
yourself
why?
off, brother.
I don't know.
Brush yourself off, brother.
Bro, you don't need to do more than that.
Yeah, that's
Call an ambulance. Does your phone still work?
all right.
Oh.
Your homie who's just recording.
Right.
Like, I see him in the reflection, bro. I see him. Somebody help him.
That's that Family Guy.
Yeah, just sitting there like, I'm going to film this for you. Not a word. You
Right.
don't even hear nobody say, hey. I hear every piece of the bike that broke off hit the ground, and I don't hear not one person say, hey, bro. I don't even hear anybody go,
That is, I didn't even realize the bike came apart on me. Like, what type of makeshift fucking bike is that?
my man,
Bro,
driving
you
the
can't be
Flintstones bike, dog.
You can't be BMXing with a fucking novelty bike, bro. Like, what is that? That's the display bike.
Display bike.
You can't be doing that.
I don't even hear anybody even gasp, bro. Like, nobody did anything. Like, oh, here you go again. We
Dust
told him not
yourself
to do
off.
that.
Crashing out, man. Literal crash out.
Dust yourself off, take a lap. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Hey,
Chase
man.
every I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
No, for real. No handlebar.
Hey, great job as always, JB Smooth, with what's trending, man. Word to Dispo, man. Let's go. I know we got to get into this mailbag segment, so people get your mailbag questions in the chat. Continue to woo one Mr. Flannel Sam over here as well, because we got some Woodward Tigers merch to give away.
Absolutely. But before we even get into the sponsor, I gotta tell you about Mark White. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right. I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And after you get a house, you can always get a car at Feldman.
What a combination. What a day. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
I got the first mailbag question. He didn't put a hashtag Feldman mailbag, but I still think it's worthy. Jake Wegner. On a scale from TK85 to Ben Wallace, how much does Flannel hate Jake Rogers?
I don't hate Jake Rogers. It's just people become morons around playoff time. They're going to see Jake Rogers get a couple of hits, which I appreciate, by the way, and see Riley Green have some struggles, and then create Jake Rogers into this folk hero status where he may not belong. And don't get me wrong, appreciate what he's done, but if you have a bunch of Jake Rogerses on your team, you're fucked. If you have a bunch of Riley Greens on your team, you win.
Jake Rogers is the new David Freese. Fight me.
No.
Fight me.
David Freese was much better than Jake Rogers.
Shot. Feldman mailbag.
Oh, this fucking guy.
Eastern Michigan's the best school ever, and it's going to beat Michigan.
Shot.
There it is.
Fucking shot.
And there's your answer.
Shout out, shot.
Eastern Michigan. It's the best school in the land. What are Shot's
I rock with you,
chances
Shot.
of winning the Tigers merch, Mr. Flannel?
Oh, it's like beyond zero.
Oh, with you, Shot. All right, let me see here. Dante151, Feldman mailbag. KG, are we going to get a fantasy football update from this past weekend?
Absolutely. Every Wednesday, we'll try to do a
cool.
fantasy update. So
KG, you got lucky, bro.
What?
You got lucky.
What you mean? Oh, yeah, in our matchup?
You got lucky.
Come on, this ain't luck
You
over
got
here,
lucky,
bro.
dog. I look back like, Geno Smith, not Joe Burrow? What is going on with my quarterback?
Hey, man.
Lost by freaking
Hey,
1
man.
point.
It's hard to be this elite, man. It really is. So,
Well, there's a little bit of your update. You'll get more later.
Y'all gonna be really surprised tomorrow. Trust me.
Yeah, dog.
I got some graphics for you guys.
Yeah, that's
awards. It's gonna be wild.
Collusion.
Yeah, but tune in tomorrow, probably after the ride segment. We will have your WUW Crew fantasy updates.
Oh, man.
Loving it. Having
Jordan,
a great fantasy year.
From MI, Feldman mailbag. What do you guys think the Pistons starting five will be this year? And what should we be expecting from Ron Holland?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
I'll let you guys
All
talk
right.
about it, man. Go around it
ahead.
real quick, for real.
Starting five, Cade. Dare I say Jaden Ivey at the 2.
Any disagreements
What?
so far?
No.
All right,
No, I
let's
don't.
keep going.
All right, so Cade, Ivy. Who we got at
Tech.
the 3? Who we got at the 3? You said who?
You got
Fontecchio.
Fontecchio.
Oh, yeah, Fontecchio. Who would play the 4
Or,
there?
wait, there's Tecchio.
Oh, yeah, we
and
got
Asar
Tobias.
Thompson.
No, Fontecchio because of his shooting ability. I'm much rather have Asar coming off the bench defensively. But
Any disagreements so
all right,
far?
so
No.
Cade, Ivy, Fontecchio, Tobias,
Tobias.
and Duran.
And
I
Duran.
mean, that's your 5.
That's where
Yeah,
I'm
that's
at,
pretty
too.
solid.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
But I saw you deliberating a little bit, man. Are there some other moves? Because when you look at that lineup, that is a shooting that you want around Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
But in that first game, what changed things around is when you got both Beasley and Ron Holland in the game, who brought a little bit different defensive pizzazz to the
True,
game.
but you need some sauce coming off the bench. You need people that can shoot off the bench. And if you just so happen to stagger Cade and Ivy, you're going to need shooters out there for them. So I would much rather have Malik Beasley be your 6th man off the bench and light it up. But
Hey, that works.
I'm with that.
And you know how it works? Why it works? I love the fact that if you do bring in Asar Thompson and or Ron Holland off the bench is not the greatest defensively, except for the fact that if you have Stu there on the bench, if you have Asar there on the bench, if you have a Ron Holland there on the bench, they've gotten a lot better defensively now.
Clamps.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, okay. So now you bring in a Jaden Ivey, and guess what? The defensive usage rate of a Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham does not have to be what it used to be. Before we were like, we got a defender, we got a Sar Thompson. Now we got several of those types of guys that can defend multiple positions.
Don't forget Paul Reed.
That gets after. I like Paul Reed a lot.
I told you.
Talk about Paul
I told
Reed.
you.
We're gonna talk about him. All right, let me get into another one. That's people are probably already done with Pistons, but I'm not. Feldman mailbag. Does Colt Keith look injuries or just worn out?
I think he's just worn out.
He's tired.
Probably.
Yeah. Rookies, young guys. It's kind of some of the stuff we were talking about. Freddie Felt.
Shout out.
Mailbag. I love Woodward merch. Flannel is the best. That is all.
Thank you, Freddie.
Charles McClain, Feldman mailbag. With the signings Lions have made, how much longer is Houston? Oh, this is a good question. Is Houston on the roster? Could Dallas game be Houston's last as a Lion?
They'll keep him on the roster to the end of the year, but make no mistake, this is a make or break year for James Houston, and we haven't seen like any of him during the regular season, really. So I don't know what maybe the coaching staff has lost faith in him at this point, but I thought we would see a lot more of him in regards to the opposite side of Hutch, but we just haven't.
Yeah, I know, JB, you're one of those guys like me as well who wanted to see something out of James Houston. Man, how you feeling about this saga right now?
I mean, I'm still vouching for Houston, but as KG said, this needs to be a make or break year for him. You have to show this Lions organization that, you know, you're really tough enough to stick around and be here on this team. I still want him on this team. Like, this past season, I had him as a sack leader up there with Aiden Hutchinson, and now this year, I still kind of want to see that, but he's going to have to show us a lot more as of right now.
Yep. And it sounds like you do have a little optimism for him, Flannel Sam, James Houston. Got that optimism?
He has not been good.
Man,
and he hasn't been on the field much.
And we've wanted him to be good. Obviously, we want all of our players to be good, but that's one player we continue to talk about. Man, if he just gets on the field, pin his ears back and just let him go, and it just seems broken.
Can they afford to leave him off the field? Like to just get rid of him? Or you got to keep him on the roster. I mean, Marcus Davenport's out for the season.
Yeah.
So you got to have him somewhere. It's just like a lot of the people before the season that weren't as high on Houston as some maybe had a reason.
Yeah.
He has not been good, and that's when he plays, which that's rare too.
Hey, just a fan. Feldman mailbag. Pistons record for 2024.
Yeah, I was just about to read that one. Man, like I told you before, go out there and double up, get at least to 28, but I don't know, man. I keep feeling like they got the recipe to go 30+.
32 and 50.
Ooh,
I got
the
30,
recipe.
35 and 47.
35 and 47.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that 35 and 47. That seems about right.
What's behind the optimism behind that's what a 21-game jump?
Well, it's partially been what you've been preaching, that the vibes are absolutely different, man. It seems like they have a coach that gives a damn. They have a lot of new players in that will help space the floor for Cade, for Ivy. And I'm just excited to see what JB Bickerstaff can do with our big men as well. So with all that, I think that's at least 35 wins. Just because they won 14 don't mean that they can't win well more than 20 plus games.
14-win team
Yeah,
last season.
exactly.
And we saw them get much better after they made a few trades.
Right,
they went
right.
on a couple stretches that showed that. So
it was never supposed to be that bad.
And those stretches literally were just those 14. Most of those came in the second half.
Yeah, we just got to get out of that mindset. Oh, they won 14. There's no way they can win, 30 plus. What? That's normal bad. Like, we trying to get back to normalcy here. So
it's and you know what? It's the expectation as well, because you have to pay some of these players. But man, yeah, I like that, man. Raise expectation a little bit. I like it.
It said 32 and 50.
I
think anything. I think at the very least you got to get 28, or else this season can be seen as some form of a failure. Obviously, barring injuries and everything, but 28. I think 28 regardless.
JB's done it before, JB Bickerstaff, so it'll be interesting to see. And you know what? We'll close out mailbag with this one here, a Tigers-related one. Feldman mailbag. Would you rock out with the Tigers team offensively and add a pitcher or add a bat too? And I assume that's about what they do in the offseason to bolster this squad.
You really need to add both.
Yeah,
you need a starting pitcher. I would say you need a first baseman for sure.
This is where Winker Vision 2020 comes into play.
There you go.
Cheap. cheap and then maybe buy high on a pitcher. I don't know. There's options out there. There's Max Fried if you want him. There's Corbin Burns if you want to make him choke on a contract. Or if you want another Chris Fetter reclamation project, there's Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
Ooh,
He was really good before the arm injuries.
If you're not going to open up the pocketbook that much, I'm glad that they got the positional coaches that they do, man. Goodness gracious. But that's a show, and before we forget, somebody got to win some merch, Flannel.
Freddie Felt 313.
Hey!
I couldn't even get the buzzer up in time.
Let's rock, Freddie.
Shout out Freddie, man.
Text or whatever, bro. Just hit one of us up. You'll get your merch, man. Thank you for being a supporter and everybody. And we're going to definitely give more merch away. I think at the start of the next show, we're just going to start it off with merch giveaway. Just for just good vibes and good mojo as we're getting ready for ALDS Game 3. We're going to have some giveaways. That's what we're going to do. So thank you, chat family, for being here. Let's get this chest pass going. Hey, and that's a show, man. Let's break this thing down. Shout out to that dude, Justin, intern Chase, Mr. Matthew Broder. This has been Wake Up Woodward and Chat family. We appreciate you guys for supporting us and kicking off your morning with the WUW Crew. We hope it's a blessed one for you guys today. Hey, check out those Pistons. They're facing Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker, come home, bro. Stay home. Don't let them stay. It's gotta happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Man, me and Rod gonna deliberate tomorrow. We got to, but it's gonna be dope to see him at Breslin. And we got a lot more Detroit sports on the way. But let me tell you about the elite, wonderful, stupendous, great, magnificent, better than good, better than the rest. I'm talking about some dogs.
Give me more.
X-ray their chest. This booth, man, they don't quit. They don't stop. Like the Tigers, they're gritty.
Can't stop, won't
stop. You don't know them, you guys get with me. Let's rock. In the sound booth, we got Detroit's #1 draft pick, AKG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
Y'all
Was that
know.
some bars?
Yeah, it confirmed.
A little bit, yeah. Let's rock. Let's rock.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate the love and y'all tuning in for the watch party yesterday. And guess what? We doing it all again on Wednesday, man. We gonna do about 50 minutes of E&E, and then we having a watch party for, I believe, is a 3:05 first pitch or something like that. So make sure y'all are tuned in to Woodward Sports Network and watch the game with us, man. We need y'all energy right now.
Yep, they keep the mojo, man. Let's keep this thing going. Let's rock, Detroit Tigers and Detroit fans. In the TD booth, or more appropriately on a Tuesday, the titty booth.
Big breast.
The gritty titty booth. It is.
No silicone.
Smooth Woodward Sports MVP.
Wide areola.
Hey. In there just having your own gritty titty booth.
Hard hits.
It's because I'm looking at the comments in the chats over here. Shout out to the chat family once again. Amazing show from all you guys. Once again, tomorrow, 3:05. It's all the way live. We'll be right back here again with another watch party. And, you know, hopefully D-Mac can call it again. I'm just saying.
D-Mac called it.
D-Mac did call it. That right there. The veteran squad. Flannel Sam. Great show, man. You were on fire, man. I loved it.
Well, and just remember, guys, I am a Tiger fan first and foremost. Even though we get into our petty differences, we will rise through together. However, if you want to know the reason why I defend Riley Green like he's my son, like draw the swords, when you look at the Tigers stats for ESPN, when you look at the leaders for the team on qualified batters, it'll say average green, home runs green, RBIs green, on-base percentage green, hits green. Appreciate that man for what he's done, and he will get it together Game 3.
Fake all-star.
Okay. Hey, there's people in the chat who think that, so that's all right.
Hey, you know what? It's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. We appreciate you guys for everything that you do for us. This has been a great show, the engagement. And listen, we're going to make sure that we get even better at engaging with you guys in the chat. We're going to make sure that we got the interns that are in there as well, and that we are reading off your comments as much as we can. Because you know what? This is why we're here. It's what we can do with you guys and how you support us. Thank you so much. Let's go Tigers. Let's go Detroit sports. It's October in the D, and this has been Wake Up Woodward.
D-Mac called it.
Imitate this entry, beating up innocent fans at ringside, all demanding that this man return to the ring. He did it last week in Salt Lake, and now it's official. He is back. He will rejoin the ranks of professional wrestling. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. The man, the